Good evening, good afternoon. You are here. This is Black Star Still Rising. And I'm your host, Stephen Black Butterfly Carter. And I have such a wonderful guest here today. I have Dr. Brenda M. Dixon.
Yes.
She is such a famous person. You're going to hear more about her today. She's a modest person, but she'll be modest enough, or not too modest, but you'll share a little bit about you. Now, Ms. Dr. Dixon is also the Chief Executive Officer, or CEO. Tell me the name of your organization. We want to get some background about Major Taylor, etc.
All right. Well, I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Major Taylor Trail Keepers for Major Taylor Trail Keepers Chicago.
Okay.
But I hold many other positions as well. Do you want me to give you all of those?
Yeah, please give me.
So I am. I'm also the Vice President for the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail. And I am the board secretary for the Major Taylor Cycling Club Chicago. So,
I should interrupt one thing.
Okay.
The founder, that's Dr.
Ed Dixon, yes.
Ed Dixon.
Yes.
He told me to say this, or to make this point.
Okay.
Make the major proud.
Oh, yes.
Make the major proud.
That's what we do.
That's your motto, right?
That's what we do.
Okay.
Yes. And, our club captain, his name is Mike Wiggins. He posts that every day, all day on Facebook after every ride, making the major proud.
I told Dr. Dixon that I didn't have any doubts that by the end of the program, you would be making the major proud. Some other things too, but we'll see. Yeah. Go ahead and tell us a little bit. Now, here's one of the confusion, and I want you to share a little bit, clear up part of the confusion.
Okay.
There are probably at least 3 Major Taylor type organizations. I want you to emphasize, but just say a little bit about the 3, how they work together, and what their different aims are, especially what your group is.
Okay, no, I'll be more than happy to. Okay. So I have to start with where it all started here in the Chicago area, which was with the Major Taylor Cycling Club Chicago in 2008. That's where it started for me in my journey of knowing who Major Taylor is. The actual very beginning of Major Taylor's presence in Chicago was with the trail. And that was right at that work started around the late 90s, and the trail was finally finished. It was like 2002 or 2003, where we have the Major Taylor Trail that runs literally through the heart of the south side of Chicago. South side, yes, all day. Starts at Dan Ryan Woods, and it curves all the way down through till it gets to the river at Whistler Woods. And at Whistler Woods, the bridge that goes over the Little Calumet River is actually the dividing line between Riverdale and Chicago. And many people don't even realize that it's all one continuous trail. It runs through...
How many miles?
It's a total of 7.5 miles.
That's a good little trek.
Oh yeah, it's a nice little trek. It's on trails up until you get to 95th Street. And there's a history behind why from 95th Street to 105th Street, the trail is actually CDOT managed. Because during that time, that was I believe it's the 19th Ward. That ward did not want a trail going through their community. They thought it was the oral histories that I've been given was that they thought it would bring in undesirables. So that portion of the trail, which was a rails to trails conversion, is on CDOT, and then it picks up again at 105th. And then it stays trails all the way through all the wards. It goes through the 34th ward. I would say 70% of it goes through what used to be the 34th ward, but now that the redistricting,
and I think that's also in the 1st Congressional District.
Yes, the entire trail.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Yes,
Congressman. A big supporter.
Yes, he is. He's
and he's doing something soon,
yes,
right?
he is. And this is hot off the press news. I literally just.
Can you say it?
You know what? I don't know if I can.
You can.
I can. You sure I can?
I'll edit it out.
All right. I just got confirmation from from one of his staff members that.
Is that Mr. Owen?
Yes, Mr. Owen.
Okay.
Owen. I just got confirmation that he will be at our event this year. When we have our event every year, we do an annual celebration for the trail.
And when is it?
It is August 26th. It's a Saturday. It's always on a Saturday.
And where is it? Where does it go?
Well, it's going to this year because we have a firm partnership with the Cook County Forest Reserves now. Okay. We're actually starting at Dan Ryan Woods, the trailhead. It'll be in Grove 13.
Are you working with Commissioner Stanley Moore?
He has come out in previous years to present our award. and he has also been a known supporter of our event. I have not been in communication with his office yet for this year, but that is on our agenda to get him pulled in.
He was here a few months ago. We had him on, and he talked about that too.
Then that means he's coming. That means he's coming. That means it's on his agenda. He's coming. He's coming. So anyway, but I just got confirmation that our Congressman Jonathan will be there to present our awards. We give community awards every year to people that have made a difference to our cause, either historically or current, or people that have made a difference in getting our communities of color, getting them active and outdoors. And so this year we have two people that we're honoring. Keith Holt, which played a historical role in the beginnings of our trail. And then our award this year, our other award is a little different this year. It's to a movement, the Southside Critical Mass, because that is so important. I don't know if you're familiar with the critical mass ride that happens all over the country. There's a history behind that, but we're honoring that movement.
But we're gonna put a pin in that for a second. But here's what I want to do.
Okay.
You're gonna do so well.
Okay.
A lot of people know the name and heard of Major Taylor. Tell us a little bit about him and his history and his significance in Black history.
How many minutes I got? Okay.
I know when to cut you off.
Well, Major Taylor, so let's start there. That's a good place to start. Who is Major Taylor? Well, Major Taylor was our first world champion. Why am I getting started? No.
Bicyclist.
He was a cyclist. I'm sorry. Of course, I have given this speech so many times, and now that I'm on the spot, I'm getting tongue-tied.
Okay.
But he is our first world sports hero. That was African American at the turn of the century, and I have to, in order for me to tell you about who he is, I have to set the time and the setting for you. At the turn of the century in our nation and in the world, the sports of cycling was to the world the way football, basketball, and baseball is. Yes, soccer, all of that. Those sports were not popular during that time. And Major Taylor he became a cyclist, and that's a whole story of how he got started in cycling. That would probably take more than the time that we have on this show, but I'll get to the highlights.
Save some time for you for another.
Yes, I'd love to tell you the whole story from his childhood, how he ended up being introduced to cycling, and then how he became this world sports hero. But what's really so important for you to know is he was the only African American that was on the cycling team. And they would travel all over the world. He was an advocate far before his time. I fondly referred to him as the gentleman that took the knee. He was the Colin Kaepernick of his time.
Okay.
I'll just give you one short vignette from his autobiography. And people don't know that he wrote his own autobiography. There are many, many biographies that exist on Major Taylor. My favorite one is by author Michael Cranish, but he wrote his actual own autobiography.
That makes a difference.
And yes, it does make a difference. And so I'm going to paraphrase the story for the purposes of brevity, but an example of why I say he was an activist and he stood up for what he believed in far before he was a man of principle. So the team, one day the team was taking the train up to New York for a race. At that time, they couldn't fill the stands unless Major Taylor's name was on the marquee. There's a story behind why that was too. Use your imagination on why but they couldn't fill the stands unless his name was on the marquee. So on the train ride, he was with his team in the car, and was treated equal. So the same way that all the rest of his teammates were treated. They get to where the race was going to, the hotel where the team was going to check in. They get all of his teammates checked in, and they have him in a buggy, and they're taking him down to I think it was an affluent African American family, but he wasn't allowed to stay in the hotel. So he told that carriage, "You take me back to the train station," because he was like,
"That's principle."
That's just a vignette.
Drew the line.
Yeah, he drew the line. And they fined him $500, which at that time he had the money; he could afford to pay it. He wasn't going. But he had it. At this time he had the money. He refused to pay it out of principle. It was for 2 years. It was 2 years later that one of the other promoters, because they could not fill the stands without his name on the marquee, they went and paid the fine for him so that they could put his name back on the marquee and have him filling the stands again. So
tell us about some of the races that he won that gave him renown.
Well, I'll tell you the one that's of most significant. April 10th, 1899, he won the world.
1800.
1899, August 10th, 1899. 99, he won the world record for the fastest man alive in the 1 mile race.
Fastest man alive. That
Yes.
sounds like something that black athletes have been doing. Being
Yes,
that first.
yes,
Okay, go ahead.
yes.
Please.
And so that's what he's known for, winning the world record, and that's what made him the most famous. But he raced all over. If you ever get a chance to take a stroll on our trail, I'd love to give you a tour one day. If I can get you on a bike, I'd love to give you a tour. We had a mural.
My bike is in the basement with 2 flat tires.
Okay, we'll get those flats fixed. We'll get
okay.
we'll take it. We got a whole cycling club that would be more than happy to get you hooked up. Okay, we'll get that bike working.
Do I start as a bicyclist?
Yeah.
Or what's the other term for people like you?
A cyclist.
A cyclist. You're a real cyclist. Tell the audience what the difference is between a cyclist and a bicyclist. Please, really.
There really isn't.
I'll pat you in the back.
There really isn't.
You don't have to pat yourself on the back.
You know, in all honesty, there really isn't a difference. Anyone that will get on a bike and pedal, you're a cyclist. Now, whether or not you have that need for speed.
Dixon, the other Dr. Dixon told me that there's a difference that the members know who's a cyclist and who's a who just rides a bicycle.
I don't want to scare people away.
No, I
I'm
don't
not
think
going
you
to tell you that part.
But some people will be inspired. I want to be a what?
You want to be a cyclist. You want to have that need for the fast and furious, the need for speed. Our cycling club draws a lot of people that were former athletes because cycling isn't as harsh on the knees as some of the other sports are. And so, yes, in our cycling club, there is a segment. We have over 300 members in our club.
300? That's quite a few. You've been building that over the years.
It's been built up over the years.
Wait, let me stop you there now.
Okay.
How do you get involved?
You just go
give
to our
them
website.
a website. Give them the website.
MajorTaylorChicago.com and you sign up. It's $35. So, but of that 300
just
members,
$35?
That's $35, and you become a member of the Major Taylor Cycling Club.
Money.
That's lunch money. You got that right. The average cyclist, when you get in, you end up spending several thousands on your first. Okay, I won't scare people away.
No.
But what I want you to understand, though, what's unique about our club here in Chicago is that yes, we out of 300 members, there's a core group of, I would say, maybe 60 to 70 riders that are that cyclists that Ed's referring to, that need for speed. They want to get out and take off and go. And then you have the other cyclists that I can do that. Not as fast as some of those guys can.
More of the leisurely type.
But I'm more of the
bottle of wine and stuff.
Even though I have my need for speed bike for those days when I do want to.
How many bikes do you have, by the way?
I only have 3.
You got a trail bike?
I have actually 4. I'm sorry, I have a 4. I have a racer bike.
You got a racer. That was my first one, a racer.
Yeah, I have a trail bike.
Okay.
I have a gravel bike, and then I have my need for speed.
How do you like going trails?
I love trails. That's my preferred. Where do you go when you go trails? Major Taylor Trail, the Cal-Sac Trail.
You ever get up to Wisconsin to the Apple River?
Any place. I love the scenery. I don't ride for. I actually don't even enjoy riding extremely fast. I like to be able to stop and yes, I fall into that other group. When I want to actually go on a club ride that's going at the speed of light, I have to use what's my e-bike. Okay. It's a racer bike, but it has a little secret. It has a secret battery in there. Okay.
Electric.
Because
you told I wasn't going to tell.
I'm not. I don't. If I'm just riding on my own, I'm doing good. If I average 12 miles an hour to 11
What's
to 12.
The longest you've ever ridden?
Well, the longest, of course, you're not a cyclist until you've done a century, 100 miles.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I did that in 2016.
One stretch?
In one stretch. I did that in 2016.
And where were you?
I went to the Seagull Century, and I said I will never do that again. I says, okay, I've earned my wings. I did it, and not again. The most that I will do now is a metric century, just because I don't ride. I don't ride at a speed fast enough that's really conducive to doing a century. You don't want to do a century and you're riding for 8-9 hours.
Okay.
And at my pace, that's how long it would take me. I'll do my typical ride when I'm in my best shape. It's usually just 25 to 30 miles, and I'm meandering around and around.
On that note, we're going to talk about a commercial, brief commercial.
Okay.
One, you're listening to Black Star Still Rising, and we are. I'm your host today, but Gloria Smith is the executive director of Black Star Project, and this is Black Star Rising. I must give a shout out to our original host, who was with us many times, and that's Mr. Othel Owen, who is now Director of Constituency Services for 1st Congressional District Congressman Jonathan Jackson. So now the other part of the commercial. Now this is a show and tell.
Okay.
You got Tell me some of the things you got on your racing jersey. I'm going to call it a racing jersey.
Okay, that's
We're going to see
fine.
that one. What's the other
All
one?
right, so this is I've talked about the cycling club, but there's 3 different Major Taylor organizations. The Friends of the Major Taylor Trail was actually the first organization that was founded for supporting and advocating for the trail, which was, in my opinion, was never completed. There's many amenities missing from the trail that we've been advocating for. Wayfinding, yes, and we're just so excited that Congressman Jackson is supporting us. And so that we got this is the logo for the actual Friends of the Major Taylor Trail, and this is the official trail logo.
Did they get that when they sign up for membership? Or they had to get that separate?
Well, no, because the club membership is completely separate.
Okay.
The minute you sign up for our event on August 26th, you are automatically now considered a trail keeper and a friend of the Major Taylor Trail.
Show the other side.
And that's okay. So then this side.
What's your name on that one?
Oh, this is my name. That's just my name.
Okay, show the other
This is the logo for our cycling club.
Okay.
And then this is the logo for the Trail Keepers. And we had this really nice brochure.
What's the difference now between the cycling club and the...
Yes, the cycling club, they are all about cycling. Okay. That's all they ride bikes. They have in their mission statement, part of their mission and their vision when they were first founded by Dr. Ed Dixon in 2008 was to give back to the community. So they support the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail. They support the Trail Keepers. But their job is not to. Let me tell you the difference between the two. So, the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail, they are about advocating for maintenance and improvements and upkeep of the trail. They
is that
sponsor.
Something you do annually?
We do every year. We have a cleanup. We have 2 cleanup days. One is always on Earth Day in April, and then we always have a second cleanup day about 2 weeks before our annual event. This year it's August 5th, and the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail they orchestrate all of that. What the Trail Keepers does, and this kind of happened by happenstance, yes, is we were going for a grant back in 2017 to get money to actually build the mural that's on the bridge. And we had
which bridge is this?
The bridge. This the end of the trail that
near that
goes over the Little Calumet River.
Okay.
And we needed we had Active Trans was our 501c3 organization that allowed the money to pass through, because neither the cycling club nor the Friends are 501c3s.
Okay.
And so there's a longer story behind how this happened, but in long story short, the only role that the Trail Keepers really plays is we're the financial arm. We're the 501c3 arm for the Friends.
What's the benefits of being a member of the trail or whatever? What do they get out of it? Some camaraderie? Tell me what you see.
Benefits. Well, the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail and the Trail Keepers, we're not a membership-based organization. The membership-based organization is our Major Taylor Cycling Club.
Okay.
The Friends and the Trail Keepers is an advocacy organization, and you're supporting. The benefit of supporting that is you're supporting things that are going to make improvements in our community. Now, the bike club, that's a whole different story.
Oh, that's right. You got this have to show that you're a real biker, right?
Well,
biker sounds like.
Now, the bike club, there's many benefits of the bike club. There's the camaraderie, and the thing that is again unique about our Major Taylor Cycling Club is that we have rides for every type of rider. I know the most popular ones are the fast ones, the Need for Speed. We've got
recumbent bikes too. Can they ride
you got to meet Ed, and we've got Terry Ulmer. They're on their recumbents all day, every day. But we have the rides for just about every type of cyclist. We have the morning rides, the Monday morning brisk rides that our club captain Mike Wiggins leads, and they are bragging every day.
Do they go on the trail itself?
No, they don't ride on the. Most of the club rides are never on the trail because the type of cycling that some of our avid cyclists do with that need for speed. Riding on a trail is just not conducive. You don't want to get on a trail and you're riding 20 miles an hour. So those
I do Lakeshore Drive. I mean,
you can't. You don't want to do 20. You don't want to do 20 miles an hour on the Lakeshore Drive either. Right. No. Okay. So most of our very popular rides that you think of the avid cyclists, that fast. How fast can you go? Those are always on the street. Now our club because because the Major Taylor Trail Keepers nor Friends of the Major Taylor Trail, neither organization has any interest in ever becoming a bike club. That's not what we do. We advocate for the upkeep of that trail that runs through the heart of the South Side.
Is it part of the history of Major Taylor too? Go ahead.
So the relationship is the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail and the Trail Keepers, we always have to have a good working partnership with a local bike club, because once a month we have a ride on the trail.
Do you do that thing when the drive closes up once a year? Can you?
We participate. We support that also. Because that's Active Trans, and Active Trans actually was very instrumental in the founding of the trail. They were instrumental in the founding of our cycling club. So we always support any initiatives that Active Trans is doing, and Bike the Drive is one of them. But the best way to explain it, we have this nice brochure, the relationship between the three Major Taylor organizations. The cycling club is the engagement part. You want to go ride. You want to have camaraderie with people. You want to find a ride that, spin your legs. How fast can you go? You can find it. You want a ride that's just touring through the town.
Get your next hat on just so we get that. Well, and also talk about what is there. I'm one of the seniors.
Okay.
Tell me what a senior is. Go ahead.
Okay, well, so the senior, you know what? I would say, well, first of all, just because you're senior, that don't mean nothing. Okay. Ed Dixon will give you a run for his money, and he's something. Okay, I can't say how old he is, but he will give you a run. Just because you're a senior, no. We got some seniors that'll put our youngins to, put them to shame and leave them in the dust.
To conserve the energy,
But if you wanted to conserve energy, I would say a good ride would be either our monthly Major Taylor Trail ride.
It's a good source of talk about the exercise benefits. So the health benefits too.
It's not just the riding, it's getting outdoors, period. And that's the thing about our trail. It's not just a cycling trail, it's a walking trail as well. If you go to certain segments of the trail from 111th all the way up to 105th, maybe 105th, people are walking that trail just to go to the Aldi's grocery store, because it's a food desert in that area.
I'm going to make you stop a minute and give some shout outs to your events and when again. So
yes. August 26th.
Who, what, when, where, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, August 26th, Dan Ryan Woods, Grove 13, be there or be square.
Where's that, where you park your car and all that?
Well, there's a parking lot right there. It's right off of 87th and Dan Ryan is where you would come in. And 87th and Damon is where you would come in.
Down at the bottom of the hill.
The bottom of the hill.
Right.
Yes.
Where do you park in that lot?
You would park in that lot, and you'll see our canopy out there. We'll go up to the trailhead and go all the way down to the trail. We'll have two routes.
Going north or south?
We're going to go south.
Okay.
So there'll be two routes. One will be a 15-mile route that will just go to the trail end and back, and then there'll be a second route where you want to spin your legs that will go all the way to the grave site. So it'll go through the entire length of the trail, and then it'll go down to the grave. Major Taylor's grave site. We got the body. We got the trail. We got the club. We got the body.
Where's the body? Where's the monument? We're building the monument.
We don't have the monument yet. One of my partners in I don't want to say my partners in collaboration, John Adams, is working on getting a monument where the last place that he lived. Was the Wabash.
Oh, the Wabash.
The Wabash YMCA.
About that.
Yes, that was the last place that he lived. Mm-hmm. And my partner in collaboration with the Major Taylor Initiatives is they're working on trying to get a monument that's, I think, about a block or two from where he last lived. But his body is here at the Glenwood. I always say the wrong Glen. But at Glenwood Cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah, the one south.
Okay. Yeah. But if you forget, we want to get some support. I don't have John Adams' number, but you can use mine for right now. 312-662-3106. Just say Black Butterfly. I'm calling. Hello, Black Butterfly. I'm calling about the event, the bike clubs, etc. And I'll give you some more background. But give us the number again for you.
For my number is 773-474-0944. But the best way to support us would be to go to MajorTaylorTrailKeepers.org. Because if you go...
Say it again, please.
MajorTaylorTrailKeepers.org.
Good.
There's an S on Trail Keepers. And if you go there, you'll see the link to sign up for our event. You'll see the link for signing up for the cleanup day. And then you'll see some of the work that we've been doing. You'll get a copy of our wayfinding plan. and a lot of other information. There's also a link from our page to get to the Major Taylor Cycling Club organization.
And I'm going to hold you there for a minute because we want to let you know, please call me, Black Butterfly, 312-662-3106, so you're going to know what's happening in the future. This is the last show of this season, but we hope we're going to have another season coming up very soon and more information to share with you about not only Black Star and Black Star Rising, but Black Star Project, which is at 35th and Philip Jackson Parkway in Chicago. I want to thank you for being with us today. Are we wrapping up? You give me the sign, or have I wrapped up already? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Dixon, for being with us today.
Thank you.
With so much more. We didn't give a shout out for Sigma Gamma Rho, did we?
No, we didn't.
Tell the Greeks to get involved.
You know, that would be awesome if I could get the
Get a
Greeks
Greek
involved.
ride.
Yes, get a Greek ride. I think
Divine
there is a
Nine.
unity
Get the
ride.
Divine Nine together.
Yes,
there
yes.
we go. We're wrapping it
I'd
up.
love to have my sorors out. Okay.
Very good.